Hi, I'm Arden Kaywin, and welcome to the Pro Singer Success Collective. Today, we're going to be talking about the 5 things that make or break a singing career. All right, so I'm really excited for this topic today because it's something that not a lot of people talk about. Like, people think that the things that make or break a singing career are your high notes or, your power, your volume, whatever that is. And I'm talking about like global things, right? Zoom out. We're going to look at the 30,000-foot view here. So, my question to you is, do you have what it takes for a successful big time singing career? Do you even know what the most important things are that make or break a singer's professional career? And I got a hint for you. It has nothing to do with talent. Nothing. So if you're out there hustling and auditioning and gigging and making records, but not breaking into the big leagues, and you are just not sure what else you could possibly do to get there, then this is a conversation for you, okay? If you are just doing all the things and you have a lot of training and you are out there doing it and putting yourself out there and you're not getting the results that you want, does it ever make you question if you have what it takes? It's like you have this voice, you have this talent, you have this potential, but is there something else? Is there something more that it takes to be a world-class artist? And I hope you guys will forgive me. I'm getting over a cold, so if you hear me coughing, this is why. Okay, so do you ever wonder if there's another reason, if there's something else that maybe you don't have or that you don't know about, something more that it takes to have that big time world-class career? And so today, I'm going to deconstruct exactly what it takes to own your voice and have an abundant singing career, and how to know if it's time to hang up your cleats. So let's start with the first thing, okay? The first thing is being committed. And now you might think, well, that's a given. But how many people do you know who, have this dream? They want to be a professional singer. Maybe, they've released a couple records, or maybe they haven't. And yet they have a dream to be a successful singer. How committed are you if you're not addressing the things that are stopping you from putting out the records? How committed are you if you say that you want to have this life living your gifts and expanding your art so that the world gets to hear your message and your talent, and you get to inspire people, but you're not actually addressing the singing issues that are preventing you from being able to feel confident enough to go audition, right? So understand what commitment is. Commitment is intention with action. I'm going to say that again. Commitment is intention with action. You might have a very good intention, but very little action. And so how committed are you? So the first thing is commitment, like understanding what you want and doing the things that are going to get you there. The second piece comes in, which is being resourceful and decisive. So what does that mean? It means you see an opportunity and you go after it. You're not stuck in the getting ready to get ready. How many of you are getting ready to get ready to get ready, getting ready? And you're never actually going after those opportunities. Or how many of you just have a lot of mind trash around, these things that prevent you, the fear that prevents you from, when an opportunity is presented, from actually going after it? Maybe it's a fear in your skill set. Maybe it's a fear in your mindset. Maybe it's a fear of, am I good enough, right? So those who are going out there and creating world-class careers for themselves, they don't procrastinate. And they are not full of excuses for why they can't, why they're not ready, why they shouldn't. They understand that the only way there is to put one foot in the other and do it. And as you do that, you iterate, you find out what works, what doesn't, and you improve and you up level. But there is no way of learning the things that you need to know to take you where you want to go if you're not failing in the process. So if you're scared of failing and that's what's keeping you from being decisive and going after what you want, if that's what's keeping you on the bench, procrastinating, getting ready to get ready, full of excuses of why it's the money, it's the time, it's where you live, guess what? Those that are successful are decisive and resourceful around any of those challenges because they understand that the committed always find a way. They understand that there's always going to be a challenge. It's going to be time challenges. It's going to be maybe family obligations. Could be financial challenges. COVID, right? And it matters zero. None of those things matter because the committed always find a way to get creative, to move past them, to get resourceful, to get what they need, to have what they want. So we've got committed, because without that commitment to live the life of your dreams, without that commitment that you're not going to settle for plan B and you're not going to stay on the bench and settle for a life that you don't want, without that commitment, it's very hard to be decisive and resourceful when those opportunities come up for the things that you need to get where you want to go past those challenges. So the third idea, the third thing that makes a singer have the kind of career that you want, that makes or breaks a singing career, is accountability. Being accountable. Having a daily practice of being accountable to those things that make a difference for you, for your sound, for your impact, and your ability to take actions on your own behalf that are going to get you where you want to go. So accountable to a daily practice of conditioning your mindset, accountable to a daily practice of conditioning your skill set, your technique. If you think about Michael Jordan, we use an athlete example, right? How do you get to be the best in the world? Like, is Michael Jordan, was he sitting on the couch, or was he the first one in and the last one out shooting drills every day, right? That is how you get where you want to go, is this accountability to doing the things you need to do to get where you want to go. And accountability to doing the things you need to do to get past what's preventing you from getting where you want to go. So that's the third thing, accountability. The fourth thing that makes or breaks a singing career is vulnerability, being vulnerable, allowing an audience to see you, having there be no blocks between you and your audience, between that energy that you have being imparted to your audience without any impediments or blocks. You have one job as a singer and performer, one, and it is to make an impact on your audience. And if you don't do that, there is no career. Because hear me, income comes from impact. It is a direct result. So I'll flip that around. Impact equals income. And if there is something blocking you in your energy, in your performance, in your makeup that stops you from being able to connect with that audience at a visceral level, you will not make that impact. And without that impact, there is no income. And without the income, that is not a sustainable career. So it's this idea of let there be no blocks between you and your audience. Let them see you. Be vulnerable. Be willing to make a bad sound instead of playing it safe. And then it's a very protected sound and you might hit all the notes, but there's no impact. Me as the audience member, I'm not affected. I'm not moved. You know how many performances I have listened to that might be considered like technically perfect, right? Flawless, perfect, especially when I listen to like opera and musical theater singers. And they're technically flawless and perfect, but utterly boring and uninteresting because those singers do not know how to share themselves, how to be vulnerable, how to let the audience see them, to be yourself and put that unapologetically out there. It's that idea, like, your worth, your talent, and you are not afraid to leave it all on the field. So being vulnerable. And, a great example of all these traits that lead to each other, right? So we've got the first four: committed, resourceful and decisive, accountable, vulnerable. And then the last one is courageous, courageous and confident and brave. It takes courage to be vulnerable and be seen. It takes bravery to be committed and claim what you want for your life and not accept plan B, not settle for anything less. It takes courage and confidence to do that. It's not easy. If it were, everyone would be living their dream life. Nobody would be in a dead-end job that they hate because they sat on their dream, because they weren't these 5 traits. And if you're not able to break through to that level in career that you want with your voice, odds are it's because one or more or all of these traits, these things, are missing for you. And this last one, courageous, confident, to be yourself and put it out there, to know that what you want to create is worth you investing your time, your money, your energy, because otherwise you're always going to wonder what if. But it takes courage and confidence and bravery to go beyond your comfort zone to go get that. And so that's why that's the last and maybe even most important of all of these 5 things that make or break a singing career. Because without that, it kind of makes it difficult to go get the rest. So when I look at really successful artists, and I look at how they embody these traits, a great example that always comes to my mind is Lady Gaga. And whether you're a fan of her music or not is irrelevant. But I would encourage you to watch the documentary on her. I think it was 4 or 5 years ago, I think, on Netflix. And it was made during the time that she was making the album that she has the pink felt hat, where the album cover is the like pale pink hat. And what I find just so fascinating about Lady Gaga is that she has always been, even before anybody knew who she was or anybody knew anything about her music or anything, she has always been all of those things above. And when you watch the documentary, it's just all out there on display. Like, you can totally see why she is the force and how her music has been so impactful to so many people. She's committed and accountable. Number one, she made her dream her number one priority. She kept her eye on the prize. Like, every action that she took from when she was in high school until today has been aligned with that purpose. And she's always studied. She's always known that there are ways for her to bring more, express more, get more in alignment with her voice and her performance. She's always studied. She is a trained singer. If you don't know this about her, then watch the documentary. She has always stayed accountable to that. It's why she can tour year in, year out, and her voice always shows up. It's why she has such versatility and scope. She can make a giant pop record, and then she can go sing jazz with Tony Bennett. So she has so much more fan base available to her in that way also. And so, this commitment and accountability to her skill set is super important. And this commitment and accountability to her dream, to what she wanted to create, has always been front and center for her in her mind. And she's accountable to that. She's committed to that because she knows what it is. And that's her North Star. You watch the documentary and you can see this. It's amazing. When you think about courage and vulnerability, she is not afraid to put herself and her ideas out there. She has never apologized for who she is. And her fans eat it up because it's not artifice. It's like actually who she is. It's not just something she's putting on to like have a fan base. She owns it. And that is part of her larger message. Also, when she first started out, her fan group, I think she calls them Little Monsters. And the whole ethos of all of that was like, be your weird, own your weird, for all the misfits, all the outcasts, because she owned that about herself. And so it was like totally aligned. She was vulnerable about those things, and she was very courageous in putting that part of herself forward, and her fans ate it up because it was real. She was never apologizing for who she was, but she was owning it and putting that out there, and it made a huge impact. And again, impact equals income. When you have a skill set, a heart set, and a mindset behind it. So now, committed, decisive, resourceful, accountable, courageous. These are things you either are or you aren't when it comes to your singing. They are a decision. Like, I really want you to understand that. They are a decision. When people want something bad enough, I have never met somebody who couldn't be those four things if they knew it meant their best possible shot at getting what they want. But there's one thing that can derail somebody from being those things, from being committed, decisive, resourceful, accountable to their dreams. And that's fear. Fear of, will it work for me? What if I get super resourceful and really commit, putting in all the time and the energy and the money that it's going to take to get me towards this dream? Like, what if I go for broke and just balls to the wall and go for it and it doesn't work out? That fear of what if it doesn't work? What if it doesn't work out? That fear that stems from inconsistency in your ability, in your skill set, in your ability to deliver and make that impact, like we talked about. Like, that can really prevent you from feeling confident, like you own it, like you can go for it. If you don't have that, if that fear is present, like you're just going to cross your fingers and you don't really know what's going to come out, that will really cut you off at the knees from going for these things, because you don't feel like you have the unshakable confidence to create what you need when you need it with your voice. Or that fear of being vulnerable, of really being seen, that you're enough, that your voice is enough, that you are enough, and you let those walls down, and then you get to make that impact with that sound. But if there's that fear of being seen, the nerves that creates, that cause you to self-protect in front of an audience, and so it's never as good as when you're singing on your own, or that cause you to self-protect in such a way that you're not even taking opportunities, you're not even putting yourself out there at all. It's that same fear of being vulnerable and being truly seen that makes you feel like you've got something to prove. So then you put it on. It's make, force, do, push, try too hard, manipulate, artifice. And then those performances, they don't connect. And if those performances don't connect, there is no impact on the audience, and there will be no income, no successful career from it. And I say this not to discourage you or scare you, but this is just the nature of what you are trying to do. And so if you are fearful about any of those things, fearful of, will it work for me? Fearful of, what if I go for broke and it doesn't work out? Fearful that you can't deliver when it counts. Fearful of being seen. If you are fearful about any of those things, no matter how badly you wish to realize the full potential of your talent into a successful singing career, it will never happen. The fear, it will take you out of being truly committed, decisive, resourceful, accountable, vulnerable to doing what you need to do to sing and perform at the level you need to go for those things at the level that will get you where you want to go. Now, I bet there are those of you who are watching this who can say a resounding yes, I am all five of those things. I am absolutely committed, decisive, resourceful, accountable, vulnerable, brave, and able to make a huge impact with my voice. And if that's you, then you have everything you need, everything it takes to be a world-class artist. And so then the reason you are not there yet is because you just need a structure and a strategy to help you cross that bridge of fear. So if you knew how to tap into your vulnerability, own your voice consistently, be that 100% confident, vulnerable, brave performer, then you'd be doing it already. If you knew how to do that, trust me, you'd be doing it already. And you'd be doing it at a super high level. But just because you're not doing it now, it doesn't mean you can't ever do it. So I really want you to understand that just because you're not doing it now doesn't mean you can't ever do it. One of my favorite sayings is don't confuse where you are with where you want to go. So if you know that you need to make this shift, but you're just not sure how, then let me help you. This is what I do, is help talented singers get past their blocks to sing and perform in a way that makes their dream possible and gives them the best possible shot at getting there. Because can I guarantee that you will become Lady Gaga? No. But what I can guarantee is that if you don't get past these blocks, you don't have a shot to even try. So if you know you need to make these shifts, but you're not sure how to go about and do it, then this is what me and my team are the best in the world at, is helping talented, committed singers up-level their skill set, their heart set, their mindset to get past all the blocks that are stopping them so that they have the best possible shot at living a life through their gifts and making money at it. And so I always set aside time in my calendar to share the exact step-by-step strategy that I use with the singers who we work with. And as usual, the call is totally free. I want to hear what's going on in your singing. And if I think I can help you, then I'll let you know. And if not, I will point you to someone who can. So on the call, we're going to chat for about 45 minutes. We're going to lay out that strategy that will help you to maximize your talent, be that confident, vulnerable performer so that you can consistently nail performances and auditions that connect deeply with your audience and open the doors to the kind of life and career that you really want. So I'm going to give a link at the end of this video. For those of you who are on YouTube watching, you just click it right on the screen. If you're on Facebook, it's going to be in the chat for you to be able to schedule a call with me or my team today. And I want to be upfront. This call is not for everyone. Like, please hear me in this. This call is only for you if you've had a lot of training and experience. You are out there hustling for your dream. You are, auditioning, performing, making records. You're committed. You're decisive, you're resourceful, you're accountable, and now you're ready to up level. If you have not had that much one-on-one technical training yet, if you've not been in voice lessons regularly, then first things first, you need to go get that first. Don't book this call, go get that first. Because if you haven't studied one-on-one to get your technique down, then of course, you're in a place of inconsistency, in a place of lack of confidence, in a place of, I don't know if I can deliver. I don't know if I'm good enough to do this, because you don't have the basic tools or skill set to give you that confidence with your voice. So if you haven't studied one-on-one and you don't have that technique and that reliability down, then be committed to solidify that first. Now, if you have had a good deal of training, and you're still not where you want to be, you're still suffering from a lot of these things in your singing, in your career. If in your quiet moments, you are wondering if you really have what it takes to make it, like if that keeps you up at night, like will you ever be able to do this on a big scale, or will you just be stuck with day jobs and side jobs forever? If you know that you are absolutely committed, decisive, resourceful, and accountable to making a huge impact with your voice, then I want you to know that these are the main ingredients that I look for in artists that I work with, that I know that I can help. And so if you need a little help getting there, then I'm here for you. Don't hesitate, book a call with me, and let's see if we're fit to work together. And if we are, that's awesome. And if we're not, that's okay too. You're going to get a lot of clarity. But I want you to take that step, because if you keep doing the same things, you're going to keep getting the same results. So if you need some help to be able to make that impact with your voice, and you know that you are these 5 traits, then don't wait, book a call with me and let's get you there. All right, guys, it's been awesome talking to you. I will see you next time in the Pro Singer Success Collective. Bye. Hey guys, thanks for tuning into today's episode. If you want to subscribe, click the link right over there that says subscribe. And if you want to book a breakthrough session with me, which you absolutely should do, then click the link right over here that says book a call to schedule an appointment to speak with us. I'll see you on the next episode.